So, hey guys, TommyBryson here, and I've been budgeting for a solid like 6 years now. Kind of feel old. But one thing I've learned along the way is that budgeting is basically the foundation to financial freedom. If I did not start budgeting, it was about like 19 years old or so, I would not be where I am today. To have enough passive income to cover my expenses, to have a paid off home, to have like financial freedom in a sense. Like I would not have anything if it wasn't for the budget. And of course, God, okay? That's just obvious, all right? But overall, guys, what I've learned is this. As you watch this video, I'm gonna give you 6 different budgeting styles. And what I want you to do, guys, is basically just ignore everything I'm saying in the sense that you listen to what I'm saying, and then you practice, you experiment, you try different things out, and you decide exactly which one is going to work out for you. Because along the way, I got a bunch of advice on different budgets, and you try this, and you do this, you save half your money, you invest the other half, you eat toast for the rest of your life. The answer is, the budget that's going to work the best is the one you enjoy the most. And a budget is not, for example, just rules and regulations and limits. A budget is something that you create around what you actually enjoy to do and what your priorities actually are. So when I made my budget and I was still getting guac at Chipotle, people got upset, but that's what actually worked best for me and allowed me to continue. And whenever I try somebody else's budget and their restrictions and their guidelines, and I was like, I'm just gonna eat toast and ramen for the rest of the year, it didn't work out because soon after I would quit because I didn't enjoy it. So keep in mind, as you try and experiment these budgets, make sure you actually enjoy it. Now, this doesn't mean you're going to enjoy every single part of it, but it's very important that you actually enjoy it in a sense, okay? That's the idea. As always, guys, like this video, on top of that, also subscribe and hit the bell so you get notified. Now, obviously, the very first one is going to be my budget, the one I created. And it's called the Simple Budget, okay? And it works alongside with the financial freedom steps, and I have a course on that, but more on that later. But the overall idea is, when I first started budgeting, I had a problem, and it was basically that if I had money and the money did not have a name or a reason for me to have it, I always spent it on somebody else, okay? Whether it was buying clothes, spending on food, and just doing dumb stuff with the money, okay? I admit it. If the money did not have a name, that money was getting spent and it was not on any investment. So I decided to create, for example, 6 jobs for money after reading a lot of books. And these 6 jobs are simple. The first job is emergency. I wanted a part of my money to have this exclusive job to actually build a fully funded emergency account to give me at least 3 to 6 months in there. And once it hit 6 months, that part was done, and I would just send over some extra money to adjust for inflation every single year. Second job was investing, okay? I wanted a part of my money to go towards working for me to make that money make me more money. That was super important to me also. Third, debt. I wanted a part of my money to rescue me from all the debt I was basically in. And at that point, I had like around $13,000 in debt, in credit card debt, but it was for business use, but I really wanted to get out of it because it was actually pretty dangerous because I was gonna be charged interest. But yeah, a part of my money went towards debt, getting me out of debt, okay? Fully, except the mortgage, of course, okay? Then number 4 was expenses. Part of my money had to go towards me supporting a lifestyle I actually enjoyed and could afford. Now, within expenses, you have, for example, shelter, utilities, groceries, and transportation. You don't have in luxury goods, okay? It's the needs, some wants in there, but nothing crazy. Then you have, for example, number 5 is fun. That's money I use to do what I enjoy doing. So for me, it was Amazon. For me, it was buying video games and computer parts. Now for me these days, it's more like experiences and services and restaurants and just doing things. And you know, for me, that's me now, okay? But it's whatever you like to do. And then number 6 was basically charity. A part of my money was going to go towards giving money back. Whether that's tithing, whether that's just normal, regular charity, whatever you actually want to do. And that's it. But you know, this whole plan without, for example, an actual end goal of financial freedom doesn't really help out. So that's why I also created the 4 financial freedom steps, and I have a course on that. The link is down below if you're actually interested. Now, number 2, guys, is going to be the zero-based budget, okay? And the overall goal of this zero-based budget, which by the way, the Dave Ramsey people actually love a lot, and I love it too, okay? It works. Like, if it works for you, it works for me. I really don't care, okay? So this budget right here is also paired with the baby steps. And it's because basically a budget without like actual financial freedom steps doesn't really make sense. Like having a very nice car, fuel efficient, you keep it nice, has a GPS, but you have no location. You don't know where you're going. So that's why it's always important to pair a really good budget with a really good financial plan. And by the way, Dave Ramsey's plan is also great. So the idea is very simple. The overall concept is you want your budget to equal zero at the end of the month. Now, Dave Ramsey usually says you want to tithe 10%, then you have 90% left, and you decide you're going to put this money towards your expenses. This right here is going to go towards, for example, your expenses, well, your debt payments, or for example, your investments and so on, but it has to equal zero. That way, every single dollar is accounted for. Then you have, for example, number 3, which is the 50-30-20 budget. I don't like this budget. I hate it, okay? Honestly, I don't like rule of thumbs because they kind of just freak me out in the sense that everyone's different, priorities is different, and you need to know exactly what you need to do when you actually need to do it. So overall, this budget is simple. 50% goes towards your needs, 30% goes towards your wants, and then 20% goes towards investments, okay, or savings. To me, spending 30% of your money on wants when you're just getting started on financial freedom makes absolutely no sense, okay? That's why when you first start the financial freedom steps, like fun and charity and everything like that, it's not really that much of a large portion because your priorities should be on other factors when you first get started, but the overall goal is to build up to be able to have a lot of fun. But being able to spend 30% on wants, I just don't like it. It's insane and you're gonna get there super slow, but for me, someone that wants to get there fast, this doesn't make sense. But if you actually say, Tommy, I don't really mind getting there slow, I just want to enjoy a lot of things on the way, the answer is it works for you, it works for you. I just personally don't like it. Now, number 4 is going to be the 70-10-10-10 rule, okay? Now, this is one I actually learned by listening to Jim Rohn. This guy is legendary. But again, this is one that I actually don't like that much. I'm just being honest here, but you could use it if you do like it. Now, the overall idea is simple. 70% of your money is going to go towards your necessities, your actual living expenses, okay? Then 10% is actually going to go towards active opportunities to actually go ahead and invest, whether that's a business, whether that's you creating something, whether that's an opportunity coming up, that's it. Then you have 10% goes towards long-term passive income opportunities, like for example, your retirement fund, your 401k, your IRA, things like that, okay? Passive in nature, even real estate potentially. And then the other 10% is going to go towards charity, actually giving. And if you're probably wondering, Tommy, if I'm broke, why would I give money? Because the idea is when you give, you get a lot back. I don't know why that is, okay? I can't explain it, but I've never given money or I've never seen anybody give money away and be broke. It just doesn't happen, okay? It's just one of those things, okay? There's a reason why you want to give. And on top of that, it feels really good to give, okay? And it's a very good practice to do. And if you say, I'm going to give when I have more money, it's going to get harder to give when 10% of $1 million is $100,000 if you can't give $100 today from your $1,000 income, okay? That's the idea. Now, number 5 is going to be the reverse budget. It's one of those simple budgets that I would kind of experiment with if I'm just gonna start just to try something out. But the idea is you say to yourself, how much money do you actually want to save? And you use that number and you say, well, I'm just gonna save this much and I'm gonna spend the rest, okay? So it's basically like, I have a goal, Tommy, I wanna save $1,000 this month. So if I make $4,000, I'm gonna save $250 per week for this month, and then I'm gonna spend the rest, not really care about anything else. Again, it's a good starter budget, okay? Very good starter budget, but it's not one I would stick with because again, I like budgets to have individual jobs and so on, all right? But again, that's just me, and that's why I say, like, create, experiment, and just try different things out. Now, the last budget is actually one of my favorites, but I've never actually used it, but I use different variations of it when I actually made my own budget. And it's basically the Kaikai Budget. I'm not sure if I'm saying it correctly, so I'm going to put it right here, Kaikai. It's a Japanese budget that asks 4 main questions. The first one is, how much do you want to spend? Second one is, how much do you want to save? Third one is, how much are you actually spending, okay? And last one is, how can you actually adjust to actually make it better? So the overall idea would be, in a perfect world, you kind of have a goal and you say, well, I only want to spend 70% of my income, or the dollar figure, and I actually want to save 30% of my income. And then you kind of go about your day, your month, and you say, well, here's how much I'm actually spending, and you say, well, I need to adjust this and this and this and this in order for me to actually get to my goal. That's the overall idea. It's a very good budget to get you started in helping you actually learn to track your things. But the reason I like my budget, again, I'm biased. Okay, guys, I'm biased. I'm not saying I'm not biased. I'm biased because I love my budget because I created it for myself, okay? The reason I love my budget is because it gives your money a job. You're able to automate it. So when it comes to investing, that's done automatically. You separate your emergency funds, so that way you're not tempted to actually use it. Your expenses, you keep it below 70%, although 90% is like the maximum, but like 70% is actually optimum. You have different categories, because I'm very methodical, but again, if that's not you, you might want to create something that's actually just more like, I just go with the flow, I save this much, invest this much, whatever works for you, that's going to be the best budget. So overall, guys, that is it for this video. Comment down below budget if you made it all the way to the end, and comment down below exactly which budget out of these 6 is actually your favorites. Now, by the way, if you're wondering, Tommy, why didn't you include, for example, the avalanche method or the snowball method, or for example, the envelope budget system? The answer is those are not actual budgets, okay? There's just like little things you do to actually get to your goal faster. So avalanche method is not really a budget, it's just a strategy. Snowball method, same thing. Envelope method is just basically saying, hey, instead of putting my money in the bank, I'm gonna put it in an envelope. It's not really a budget in a sense. It's just like strategies to help you out, okay? And I did all of them, okay? And my favorite was always doing the simple budget in combination with the envelope system. So when I first started, I had those 6 jobs and 6 envelopes, and whenever I got paid, I would put them inside because I wanted to see my money physically growing. I like to see that investment account just get bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger, and that to me felt really good, okay? But as you kind of keep going, you realize you can't keep doing that, okay? Because it's dangerous. If your house burns down, your money's gone, okay? So it's not the best idea. As always, guys, like this video, subscribe to the channel, hit the bell so you're notified. Follow me on Instagram, TommyBryson. Up here is another video. Over here is my face. Click and subscribe. And as always, long-term team officially out.